Janet.
For sale over here, so it takes me a while to walk all the way from. Too many books. Never enough. Record myself, never enough books. Hi there. Hi. I'm looking for yet another periodic table poem to share with you guys. It's possible. Well, you know, I have 118 of them.
Oh.
You know, well, that's how many elements there are. And I did some bonus ones. Hydrogen cyanide, you know, compounds. And
Dilithium.
I think I did dilithium. I did things based on Star Trek. I did a couple of those to be funny. But this one isn't the humorous one. From the book On the Edge. And if anybody is actually interested, although I don't have the book around me, if anybody is interested in all of the poems, there's a book called The Periodic Table of Poetry, and you can find it at Amazon. And that's me. Anyway, I feel bad, and I'm going to say this before reading this poem, that you've got a thing on Wednesdays because Australian world poet Tom Woodruff runs on the first Wednesday from 1 to 3 in the afternoon at Half Price Books, 5555 North Lamar, a thing called Community Poetry, and he is out of town this month, so he has asked me if I would step into his shoes and guest host. So this next Wednesday, February 6th, 1 to 3 p.m., anybody can come in for your 10-minute mini feature space and do round-robin stuff, and that's a yay, yippee-skippy time, and I might even read micro-poems from Tom between everybody, just so that there's some sort of flow there for that. So if anybody wants to come by, there are Facebook pages for it. I'm trying to spread the word, blah, blah, blah. I would love it. Stick.
Sorry, we're missing you.
I know, and you guys were there in for the book release, so
Yes.
you guys were, so which was groovy cool. But that's enough of that. If you're around here and want to come by there, I'm not trying to pull away from Harriet, so I'm really not. But got to just plug while I can. But this poem is for element 100. Wow, and that's Fermium. When the bulldog ant of Australia is cut in half, the halves see each other as enemies. The head attempts to devour the tail, and the tail, in an effort to defend itself, battles for up to 30 minutes to sting the head. And this battle happens everywhere in the world because life is always that battle between the two halves of the whole. Because everything contains that twin, one part good and one part that is construed into something so horribly wrong. And you want to tear it apart, that other half. You despise everything about it because that is somehow a part of you. So you, in life, always possess that battle. This even applies on a molecular level. Consider hydrogen. It's in our water we drink and bathe in. It's atomic, and atomically, we're 67% hydrogen. But on November 1st, 1952, Ivy Mike was the code name for the first successful test of the hydrogen bomb. It's funny how we can take something that we need for our life and, like our sun, turn it into something to destroy everything we know. Because, as I said, one side gives life, the other kills. And thanks to Ivy Mike and that hydrogen bomb, 2 elements were discovered. One of them was named after physicist Enrico Fermi. You see, Fermi worked on Chicago Pile 1, the first nuclear reactor. Fermi worked in a space under Chicago University's then unused football stadium bleachers. And that's because the school had no need for a football stadium for 3 years because the school thought sports were a distraction from academics. Fermi, the father of the atomic bomb, also worked on the Manhattan Project, and the Fermi Lab outside of Chicago was named after him. And here's the kick. The hydrogen device that produced Fermium was designed by Richard Garwin, Enrico Fermi's student. So for all that Enrico Fermi had done, it seems fitting that fermium is the heaviest element formed by the nuclear bombardment of lighter elements like hydrogen. And this highly radioactive element was initially kept secret due to the Cold War. But it's amazing what we can discover when taking something we so need for life and turning it into an instrument of death. Because fermium was classified in the Cold War, Swiss scientists bombarding oxygen discovered an isotope of it, and they wanted to name it Centurium to honor the naming the 100 element. A good thing Fermi's nuclear work got declassified, so they could actually honor Enrico Fermi with fermium. But wait, fermium is bad. It's radioactive. There can't be any good applications for it. Well, consider the two sides of any twin. Fermium is the only element that can use its alpha particle in radiotherapy for cancer. And yes, it's radioactive, but its short half-life means it decays quickly. Because, as I said, it's amazing how two sides can be both bad and also so good. Didn't know how much you would learn. I would like to share with you two poems that I've written this year in this fun quest to write a poem every single day. Yeah. This one is called Not Knowing. Once I saw my grandfather in the casket at his funeral. My dad took me to a restaurant to eat some food. I was in the car, alone with my dad, then in a restaurant, alone with my dad. We didn't speak. I couldn't think of a thing to say. I'm sure I ate, but I think they thought they needed to get me away from the death at that funeral. I don't know if I needed to get away or not, but there I was, little me, with my dad at a restaurant, taking a break from seeing his dead father. I'm sure we ate, but otherwise, I sat there, not knowing what to do. And this is another little short one. A little Instagram photo, but I don't know if anybody cares about them, but I got it anyway. This one is called Listen to Life. Life teaches you lessons if you learn to listen. Life can destroy you if you're not paying notice. Learn what to listen for and never forget. Life can also thrill you if you listen just right.